Hey there, and welcome to 3Spoonies. We are your hosts, Joe, Claire, and Karen, and this is episode number 4, where we're discussing access to work. Join us as we dive in. So, welcome to our episode. I'm Joe of Bright Cat Business Solutions.
I'm Karen from Pony Pony Pony.
And I'm Claire from Sparkle's Gift Boutique.
And we're 3Spoonies navigating our way through life and business with not enough spoons. Today, our guest is Jemima Wilcox of the Wilcox Collective, and she is here to talk to us about access to work. So I'm going to hand over to Karen, who will give that interview.
Yep. Hello. First off, Jemima, would you like to tell us a bit about you and what you do?
Hi, everybody. I'm so delighted to be here today. A little bit about us. So, as Joe mentioned, I'm the founder of the Wilcox Collective. I also am the founder of the Neurospicy Entrepreneur and XW3D Makes. The Wilcox Collective are adventurers on a quest to deliver authentic, personality-driven content for businesses like yours. We create eye-catching, scroll-stopping, tongue-wagging, like-tapping, lip-clinking, comment-leaving, crowd-pleasing content with feeling. That's easy for me to say.
Marvellous. Right, say that 4 more times. No, it's fine.
I was literally trying to do it in my head. I'm like, that is a tongue twister.
That is quite the tongue twister. So we are going to be talking about access to work today. So I first heard about access to work. It was over a decade ago, and I was told it's a bit of a faff. You have to apply to Wales and you might get a comfy chair if you're lucky. Is that accurate?
Well, like yourself, I mean, I had no idea this existed. I'm a neurodivergent entrepreneur and I have been neurospicy for most of my life. And it's only the last year, 18 months. So I've been in business now 7 years and I didn't know this at all. This existed up until just about a year ago. And I think it was when I started searching for like-minded individuals and those communities popped up all over the place. And obviously, in those communities, access to work was being discussed. And I was like, wow, there's actually a thing for me. There's actually a place, and there's actually support for me. And yeah, so I kind of started off, and I'd say thus far the support I have received from access to work has been honestly life-changing completely. The business has transformed, and we've achieved more in 6 months than I've done by myself in 6 years.
Wow. Okay, that sounds amazing. What sorts of things can you apply for support with?
So it really does depend on what your needs are. So the one thing about access to work is you don't actually have to have a formal diagnosis. So they support individuals who are in paid salaried employment, and they also support self-employed individuals as well, be it freelancers or actual limited companies. And the best way to understand this is kind of looking at what your needs are. So they can go from physical items to like a walking pad, a standing desk, or to software that can help you like Zoom or help you be more productive within your day to day. But the biggest thing they do, which has the biggest impact for me personally, is they provide support workers. And in their terminology, they are people that can help you be more effective within your business, to take away the things that you don't want to do, that you hate doing, and you're not that great.
That sounds grand. So with the support workers, can you go in with a bit of a wish list? I'd like to work with Fred and Sita, or do they encourage you to go for the cheapest support worker possible?
I think the one thing that people don't understand about access to work is that you are the one that's requiring the support, so you need to be certain on what you want and what you can. You know yourself best, so they're gonna default to what your needs are and what you ask for. So when I went through my process, I already worked with a virtual assistant called John, who is absolutely amazing and is now working even more with me. I know what John's hourly rate was, and I know that I needed more hours with him. But the thing about it is as well is that you will be asked to justify and to prove how much time you spend on things to get numbers out. I have to say, I haven't met somebody so far, but I'm very proud that I actually was awarded 35 hours a week of support workers.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that is a proper level of support.
Yes.
Genuinely. I hadn't realised it could go quite that high.
Yes.
So with those support workers, can it be for things you already do, or could it be for things you'd like to do, but you haven't because you can't, if that makes sense?
It does. So the way that I've always made suggestions and made it clear to people when they are looking to go to Access to Work is to actually write down everything you do in your business, section it into departments, HR, marketing, accounting, you know, identify the areas of your business which you hate doing, and that will allow you to then understand what you would ask for help for. For example, I'm dyslexic. I can't deal with numbers. I really can't deal with numbers. So having somebody who can do my receipts for me, who can do my expenses, who can do my taxes, the things that I need to do as a business owner, but my neurospicy brain isn't great at. So I shouldn't be working with somebody else to do that. So, that's how you identify what support workers can help you do the best. Take away those pain points that you don't like doing for somebody who loves doing them, leaving you free to do the things you love doing. For example, me, the creative stuff, the marketing, the meeting people, the networking, that kind of stuff.
Okay, yeah. So in that case, you could well have people in mind. Is it also okay if you're not sure what the solution is for part of it?
Definitely, yeah. I mean, there's lots of other organizations out there that actually specialize in helping you through the whole process. I personally not choose to go with one of those because I felt capable and confident enough that I knew myself and I knew what I wanted. I did my own research. And the one thing is, if you do work with these specific associations, they will take a large cut of your award. So you do need to, so it's a balance basically. Um, so really, it's about making sure that you kind of have an idea because they'll just give you stuff. Now, bearing in mind, the Access to Work people are from DWP. These are not
Mm.
specially trained individuals that know what neurodiversity are or what's going to work. They are just going to give you what's done beforehand. And the issue with that is that every individual that comes through this process has unique needs. Some people can get quite a few regular things that will work for a smaller group, but there is nothing in saying you can't have an idea of things. So, the other thing to really make aware of that it's not just physical items or support workers, but you can also get coaching too. So you can get actual 12 months of coaching, so a specialist neurodivergent business coach that can help you, work through it and do that, which I have my amazing coach. I have to name check her, Sarah Kedge, who's absolutely brilliant, and she's paid through Access to Work as well. So kind of me coming on here today is talking about the things that I get. So I'm dyslexic and I'm suspect ADHD. So I, identify things that will help me. I fidget a lot, so I want to maybe move. So I'll have a standing desk, a walking pad, things, like a anti-fatigue mat, that kind of stuff. I can't, I would need somebody to help me with my accountability. So my VA helps me do that. The biggest thing and the most impactful thing I've done with my award is bring on an office manager, a general person of everything. So her name is Sarah. We call her Awesome Sarah because she is awesome. We have multiple Sarahs in our business now. So we identify her as Awesome Sarah. Awesome Sarah's major job for me is to do my email. I hate email. I can't stand email. Her job is to come in the morning and look at my email and filter it into our email filtering system. And I go in, I look at two folders, and one is do, one is reply. And that's my job for the morning. And I go in, and that's what she does. She's expanded even more to doing social media content for me. She has achieved so much for our business in the sense that I'm really proud to share with you all that we are one of the other sides of our business, which we do a community and called the Neurospicy Entrepreneur. That is now an award-winning community. We won the
Oh,
FSB.
Well done.
Yeah. We won the East of England FSB Award for Diversity and Inclusion. I would have not won that award because Sarah put the application in for me. So I made her do that, and she put in, I think, 4 applications for various awards for various businesses. Alongside that, we have another business because, you know, being neurospicy, you get bored easily, so you go on multiple streams. Our other business is XW3D. We 3D print things you didn't know you wanted, specialising in sensory flexi fidget toys, mainly dragons and animals and cubes. So
She's got a new customer.
Yes.
So part of that, Sarah helped us. We did a big event in Cambridge where I'm based. Cambridge has a thing called Mill Road Winter Fair every year. It's huge. Streets get closed. And we did our first ever outdoor event. Part of that, an individual from the Cambridge University Museums, multiple big museums. You may be familiar with the Fitzwilliam Museum. That's the big museum in Cambridge. Came and bought some of our models and said she'd love to have them in the shop. And obviously I'm overwhelmed and crazy with all these people trying to buy stuff off me. So a week later, I said, Sarah, can you please source this person, find this person? And she did. Now we stock our 3D prints in 4 of the major museums in Cambridge.
It's fantastic.
So
Amazing.
there are ways and means that access to work can be so life-changing. It can take off stress, but it's also a double-edged sword because you need to be assertive but polite and clear on your requirements. Because I see so many people out there that are going, well, I've got this thing and it's such a stressful thing and they don't understand. And that's what I'm hopefully here today to kind of clarify and answer some questions and give people inspiration that going for it and getting stuff is great. I mean, again, you know, it's an annual award, so if things don't go, you know, the way that you realise, half the stuff I've got recently I'm not using, or I've decided to change it. It's an annual award, so it's always going to be something that you can get more of over the years, and we work it out as well. Sorry, I've completely rambled and gone off completely.
No,
that's great.
Can you ask me
But
to?
I'm just going to take a pause right now because it's time for some spoons of loveliness and a load of great things from our sponsors, and then we'll get right back on that thought train.
Soap introduces a groundbreaking approach to personal care with its solid soap and shampoo dispenser. This innovative device accommodates 2 bars, transforming them into a delicate powder for the utmost efficiency. These bars are capable of providing over 2,000 hand washes, 333 showers, or 666 hair washes. Not only are they cruelty-free, with the majority of them being vegan, but they are also completely single-use plastic-free. Snoop stands out as not only a champion for your skin and hair, but also as a friend to both the environment and your budget. And there's a special treat for our listeners today. The generous Lady Snoop has provided us with an exclusive discount code, Spoonies Love Snoop, which grants you to an additional 15% off your purchase. How wonderful is that? Head over to www.snope.com to start shopping now and take advantage of this fantastic offer. Everyone has a book in them, they say. The question is, do you? If you do, Green Cat Books is an independent book publisher who will help you every step of the way. If you're musing over the idea of writing your masterpiece, Green Cat Books run writing classes for genres of writing which run alongside the UK school terms. Whether you're a poet and you know it, or want readers to share your fantasy world, there's something for you. If you've already written your story, Green Cat Books can transform your manuscript into your very own book, whether you want an ebook or a paper book. They can edit and proofread your work to check everything reads well, design your cover, typeset and format your document. That's making it look more book-like and less manuscript-like to you and me. And in no time, you'll have a copy of your book in your hands or your digital device. Green Cat Books will even send it to be listed on digital storefronts or online stores like Amazon and Waterstones. Wait, maybe you don't know how to write a book? Well, that's okay too. Green Cat Books has over 100 books that you can choose to read with all sorts of genres written by more than 50 authors. Head over to www.green-cat.shop for all the info you need. Come Together for Calm is a tight-knit community built from people from all walks of life that want to tackle the stigma against mental health and providing life-saving phone calls and support to those that need it in their worst times. Over the past 4 years, Becca and her team have raised over £13,000 and funded over 15,000 life-saving phone calls. Through exciting events, a mountain climb, competitions and more, she has pulled people together in support of CALM, the campaign against living miserably. This year, she is going even bigger and hosting a charity black tie gala, where there'll be silent auctions, games and more. The gala is on the 16th of November at the Village Hotel in Coventry. If you're interested in getting involved, being a sponsor or coming along to the event, you can email Becca at rebecca@cometogetherforcalm.co.uk. Come and be a part of the award-winning community that stands against suicide.
Come back, everybody. Karen, I'm sure you've got about 1 million more questions.
At least precisely 1,000,003. Yes. So if people are looking at access to work, what questions should they ask themselves first?
Sure. If anybody's thinking about access to work, the first thing they need to do is just apply. They just do it, because it takes 14 weeks for anybody to come back and tell them if they've got it. So the frustrating thing for me is when I first applied for it, I waited 14 weeks and then I was told, yeah, you don't fit the eligibility criteria for the amount of income you have. Sorry, bye. So I waited another 14 weeks. Yeah, it was terrible. With the kind of things that they need to, do with it, is just basically, I am meticulous when it comes to kind of answering questions. I'll create a Word document and put stuff in that way. I can't really stand filling in boxes when, if the box is online, like a browser, that browser dies, I've lost all of the stuff straight away. And, if you use Microsoft Word or a relatively word processor, it also stays. From my understanding, and it may have changed because DWP likes making change continuously, there was 2 questions. It was, what is the things that you experience and how do you think you could get support? So I kind of sat there, and I'm not ashamed to Google things. I'm not ashamed to go, how can my dyslexia impact my work? What tools are there for dyslexia? Also to mention,
if you've lived with it for so long, you've just coped with it. So it's like,
yeah,
how do you know exactly what you need and what would
precisely, yeah, precisely that. I'm also suspect ADHD as well, which I've started my journey for that this year, and that's off the back of my husband being diagnosed a year ago. So it's like looking at all of these kind of things and just writing these big stages. And the thing is, you don't get a copy of this information. So when you're copying and pasting it, putting it into it, you've got a document that you can go back to. Because the most annoying thing is they'll come back to you and say, so you filled in those 2 questions 14 weeks ago. 14 weeks ago. Remind
14
me
months
what
would
they
be
are.
quite a stretch.
Yeah. Like, how do you remember this? Like working memory issues with neurospicy people is a major problem. But the thing is like just being really assertive of this is what I need and this is how I'm going to do it. And I think the communication side of it as well. I mean, the individual that I had was lovely. She actually was very good. But the thing I've discovered and heard about is that it's not a particularly consistent approach. Everybody has a completely different experience. And my experience was I did the 2014, 20 sod weeks, and I then got through to a human. And then when I did all the things, I unfortunately cannot remember the name of the individual, but I was part of another community and she shared a workshop on doing access to work. So I watched this workshop on how to apply and I used a lot of information on that way as well to do it. And then when I got through, part of it is you must insist that you get an occupational therapist report done, which is part of the process. Because a lot of people I'm hearing is that they're skipping this part, which is ridiculous. And the advisor is going, right, so you're dyslexic, you get to have dragon and you get to have this. And the person at the other end is because they don't know otherwise. They don't know they have that autonomy to go, no, I want this and this and this and this and this and this. Bearing in mind, and I may be wrong on this, there is annually for access to work around, I believe it is between 50 to 60k per person. And my goal on the end of this whole process, when I discovered this, was I am getting the maximum amount. I'm maxing that out. That is my goal in this plan. And I did. I had to actually take stuff off because I went over the budget, which I was really proud of. Oh yeah, it's about having that authority and that confidence to say, this is what I need, and this is the fund I need it from, and not accepting what you're given. Not because nobody really knows that's the case of it, basically. So. Yeah.
So, and then because you've got all that paperwork for the next year, you can use that as the basis, presumably.
That's what my understanding is. I think the one thing that I do find massively frustrating, I think that might be a question you'll come into, Karen, is that it's quite an elitist system in the sense that, so I'm quite lucky and fortunate with my support workers. Do not get me started on the words they use. So, no, but as neurospicy people, we sometimes have to go and live this for a short period of time to get what we need and just deal with it. So with my support workers, I've really pushed on getting them. They're lovely because there are two ways that you can get paid with access to work. You can pay yourself and then they'll pay you back. Or you can have wonderful people like I've been fortunate to have who will submit their invoice. We have an online system that's barely working. It's an online system.
DWP,
it's
what do you
okay.
expect?
Yeah, precisely. And then, you're twiddling your thumbs for about 6 weeks or so to then receive, I'm not sure if you guys have experienced this, a very dodgy looking email that looks like spam, and then your money appears 2 hours later. It's very, very weird. Yes. So the thing with it is that you have to have, as a business, money to disappear out of your account for a maximum of 6 weeks for you to then live and carry on your business. So that's one of my massive bugbears on this, is that you do need the capital to do the thing. And also, when you need to buy stuff, it's like that's another thing I'm trying to overcome. Some pieces of software and equipment, like this piece of software that you're looking at £600-800 to spend on a thing. How does one person then do that? And then they're not particularly great with, you're meant to, I haven't experienced this, and it's a reminder I need to chase it. There's pro formas and there's invoicing ways, and they're very particular that they do not like US companies. So you have to really find a UK company, but if you push them a bit, they'll do that. But no, it's a very, I am truly grateful for it. And another fact that you might be fascinated with, and this might be a little bit out, but this scheme has been going since around 94, 95. It has succeeded through numerous governments, and I can't get my head around that nobody else knows it. I'm also I talk about it all the time with my community, with the people around me, but it's also a double-edged sword that I don't want it to talk about too much, because everybody will have it then, and they'll be like, oh, no, then it won't be so much. But yeah,
I thought it was something quite new, because I've only just heard about it probably in the last year, like 10 months to a year. So
yeah.
I thought it was something new that they launched. I had no idea it's been going for that long.
That was a quick Google. I may be wrong, but I was like, wow, it's been going that long. And yeah, so
you need to know it exists. You need to know what to ask for, and you need to know how to ask for it, which
precisely.
We know
I think
a lot
that's
of
the
people,
thing that's hard though, because I know when I was doing my form for like PIP, and obviously when I have my reviews and stuff, and they're just like, well, what can you do and what can't you do? And I find sometimes I'm just like, you don't always want to admit that you can't do something, but you have to really put yourself in that right mindset. And I think because we have dealt with things for so long, and we just kind of suck it up and deal with it, then you're like, you don't know what to ask for. You're like, can I even ask for this? Am I doing the right thing? And you kind of then feel a bit guilty for asking as well.
Yeah. So the method I would strongly advise individuals to do is to identify what the struggles is. What do you not like doing? What are you not good at? And then find the solution. So, for example, I hate email. I have a support worker that does email. I use a program called Loom, which is a video recording system. And I Loom, God, everybody knows I Loom, I'll send numerous Looms. So I can't do email. I need this program to sort me out. If I use this program, this is okay. So it's very much about explain your struggle, find the solution that works for you, and ask for it. Because they can't, if you turn around and say, so I think one of the ones that come up quite a bit is not a controversial one, but one that comes up quite a bit is that it kind of gets divided into bits. So there's, with the support workers, I think it gets divided into three. Forgive me if this is incorrect. Support workers like virtual assistants that can do marketing stuff, the things you can't do. The second one is personal development. So, for example, my business coach, that kind of thing. There is a third one, which is actually to do with coping mechanisms. So you can ask for support with your coping mechanisms. Now, part of my one that I got given was I got a app paid for me called Dailyo, and Dailyo checks in and asks me how I am every day, and then I can then track my mood. So that's one of them. Also, popular apps like Headspace for meditation, things like that. Now, the controversial one is that individuals can ask for people like cleaners. So if you work,
couldn't.
So think about it this way. This is the controversial thing. It is a coping mechanism. You work from home, you work at home. You spend 8 hours a day in this one room doing your work. If that room becomes cluttered and untidy, you aren't able to do your work. So your coping mechanism is to pay for a cleaner once a month to clean your house. So it's controversial because people have got this, some people haven't, and it's case by case, because you need to use the formula of this is the problem, solution, and this is what. So my problem is I can't do email. My solution is I get somebody to do it. And the problem is solved. My business runs better. I'm now award winning, and we get more business. So it's it's the logic of it all, whilst also being polite, grateful, but yes, assertive about it.
I'm adding a cleaner to my list.
I think I'm going to be like, Jemima, help me come and fill out a form.
Would they look at how long?
Body doubling is another one. You can ask somebody you can pay somebody to body double. If you've got an irritating task to do that you've been putting off for months, that will take like 20 minutes to do, you can get somebody to body double for you, and they will be paid as that's a support worker that will body double for you. As long as on their invoice they put support worker, number of hours, cost, done. That's your support work done.
Wow.
It's all worth knowing, but I've certainly found in my interactions with the DWP having a grammar school accent helps, and I hate that that's the case. It's miserable. I can't help that I'm from an education action zone. It's the only place that teach me to read, basically. But yeah, it's a thing. For people who aren't confident, what can they do to either come across as more confident or to be able to have a bit of backup with them?
So when I started my process, I actually had the person I mentioned before who recommended me the webinar. She actually was included in a lot of the calls I had, or as an advocate. So there's nothing stopping you in this whole process to have somebody who's gone through it, that's listening into your call or part of it, while you can send messages back and forth and say, this is what you need to say, or something like that. So there's nothing having, advocacy, that works definitely. Something I'm a little frustrated with, which I would like to have changed, is that when you have your occupational health assessment with COVID, everything's gone online, they will do it virtually. they do it, it depends, it's a third party. So I think my one was Reed, the agency that do occupational health. I wanted it recorded, and they were like, oh, okay, no, sorry, I can't share that. I'm like, no, I need you to share that. So eventually that's something that I'd like to be changed, because that is documentation. That's what I can refer back to. It's powerful when a third party, you can say, that's what I did use this quite a bit as well. So even though it's not recorded, you can say they have an occupational therapist to refer and recommend. During my occupational therapist conversation, they said X, they recommended X. And, you don't get the report either, which is really irritating. And I think the final thing I'd suggest is that, it's personal preference. Do talk to those support agencies that go through Access to Work with you. Do see if their work, they're going to work. Because, personally for me, I didn't go down that route for two reasons. That A, I'd already had suppliers that I want, my freelancers that I knew I was comfortable when I could work with. And B, I wanted, and this is very selfish of me, I wanted 100% of the award to go to me, and for me to be autonomous to choose what I did with it. So I think those are the three things I suggest.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. I think that's given us all much more understanding of the process, of how to do it, and of what we can potentially get out of it as well. So I know I've definitely learned some stuff today. Is there anything else you'd like to plug, let us know about?
Two things. First off, as I mentioned, I'm very excited to share with you all. The Neurospicy Entrepreneur Club is now an award-winning community. We won the FSB East of England Award for Diversity and Inclusion, and it's amazing to have recognition for a community that's less than a year old. If you are in the Cambridge area, we have our events every other month, and as time of recording, our next event will be the 23rd of July. Also, I'd like to share with you, because we do multiple things, we have a business called XW3D. We 3D print things you didn't know you wanted. You can visit our website at www.xw3d.co.uk. Have a look at our flexi, very colourful, very awesome fidget toys. We have a plethora of creatures and dragons, and we ship across the UK as well, and they are brightly coloured, fun and amazing toys. So go have a look and check those out.
Guarantee you that's where Karen's going straight after this.
I'm already thinking, what can she print that I can then bling up as well? I'm like, oh my God.
Sounds like a challenge.
Oh, don't get me started.
We're all about collaboration here. Anyway, thanks for joining us, Jemima, and thanks for joining us, 3Spoonies, on episode number 4 on Access to Work. We'd love to know your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe to our weekly podcast and leave us a review. You can find us on social media, and we would love it if you join us in the Business Success Network for Disabled Entrepreneurs Facebook group. You can also buy us a coffee if you like what we do. All the links will be in our show notes, so you can go and buy those fidget toys now. We'll see you next week, back with Jemima for community questions, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot. Have a great day and keep track of your spoons.